Hello and welcome aboard. I'm Ben from Melt The Icebergs. I'm a professional pilot currently flying VIPs around the world in a Gulfstream 7. But this channel is not so much geared towards flying aeroplanes, but more to do with what I've learned in 25 years as an airline and VIP pilot and how that can be applied to life and success generally. And today's video was actually shot last summer when I caught up with a friend of mine called Brendon on his record-breaking attempt to paddleboard around the United Kingdom. And the message really is about when we find our purpose in life, when we do something that comes from our heart, from our intuition, then we are destined for success. So please make yourself comfortable and I hope you enjoy. I'm waiting for an inspirational friend of mine called Brendon. He's also a world record holder, and he is about to come over my shoulder there on his paddleboard. 121 days ago, he left his hometown in the southwest of the UK. He left his lovely wife, who's standing there behind me, and the children to embark on a 90-day journey to paddleboard around the mainland of the United Kingdom. It was absolutely remarkable. He's gone up the west coast, he's gone over Scotland, he's got his world record, and he's now down heading towards the south coast. But Brendon's story is really interesting because he's been a school teacher for 25 years, but his passion was the water, and he qualified as a lifeguard in his spare time. And he was down on a beach in Cornwall a few years ago when a whole number of people in one family got caught in the waves there. There was a huge shout that went up from some very distressed people. He found himself in very tragic circumstances where bodies were being brought out of the water, and he did all he could to try and save some lives that day. Tragically, was unable to save a few people, but it affected him so profoundly that he's decided to dedicate his life to the prevention of drowning. So he's realized this inadvertently, out of this tragic circumstance, has realized what his calling in life is. And the two things that hit him most, firstly, was that those people had absolutely no idea about the dangers of the waters that they were throwing themselves into. And secondly, even more as tragically, I suppose, was that when they came out, nobody on the beach apart from him knew anything about first aid, how to save lives. So he has completely dedicated himself to this, and he is raising money for a couple of charities. Firstly, the Lifeboat Institution here in the UK, and secondly, a gamified app for kids to get involved in, so that it builds their awareness of water and how to prevent them from drowning. Simple as that, really. The important message about this is that when we find our calling in life, when we find our purpose, then the journey becomes inevitable. We feel that sense of responsibility and absolute dedication to something meaningful and bigger than ourselves. Brendon's coming out in about half an hour's time, and we're going to help him out the water, and we're going to fire up the barbecue at the campsite, and we're going to hear about his day-to-day, which included coming through that zone behind us, which is a military firing zone. He had to get special permission to come through. His website is www.thelongpaddle.com. You will see a bit of a story about him. He recounts the story of that time on that beach in Cornwall a few years ago, which is harrowing stuff, and it's absolutely worth a watch and very much worth supporting. So there we go, that's Brendon and his fantastic attempt, successful attempt to break a world record, because he has tuned into something that really makes his heart tick, that has given him a purpose in life. So I'd like to leave you with a question for yourselves to think, what is it that really makes your heart tick, that makes you feel incredibly passionate or excited about something, a real sense of responsibility for something, or for a calling to do something for somebody else. And when you really tune into that, success becomes inevitable, and overcoming those obstacles or melting the icebergs that might lie in your path is just something that will become inevitable too. And of course, I'd love to hear any comments, so please leave them in the box below. And if you've enjoyed the video, be sure to come back for some more as I share my experiences, thoughts and adventures traveling around the world. In the meantime, keep it in the greens, continue to discover your self-belief and live the life of your dreams.
Bye.